Welcome to the United States of America podcast. I am your host, Niti, and we are broadcasting live from the Food Church here on North Carolina. We welcome you to make yourself comfortable as we go over the current state of the world and our nation. If you missed the past episodes, please be sure to take the time to at least watch the first episode to have a proper introduction to our conversations. These conversations are not otherwise happening in any sequential order. Please be aware that we expect you to behave in honor with our comment section. We are a people at peace, and we have declared peace to all nations around the world. This is not a marketing or sales podcast, and we are not sovereign citizens. Sovereign citizen is an oxymoron, and if you say that you are a sovereign citizen, then you are a moron. A sovereign is a free and honorable living man or woman who operates under God's law, natural law, Hermetic law, and who honors themselves and others in peace. One definition for the word citizen is slave, but there are different kinds of citizens. But putting those two words together is an oxymoron. We also do not promote or condone TikTok, Facebook, or any other social media games to test the system or to impose your beliefs onto society at large. This is not a marketing and promotional channel. We are shining a light on knowledge that is being hidden from you. We are sharing the truth about your birthright and your inheritance. We are interested in helping you reclaim your birthright and your inheritance. We are not sitting in judgment of you. This information is a beacon of light for you to use when you choose to seek it. We have marshals at arms that are designated as moderators who are assisting in the comments section. Please be kind with your words. If you diminish others, you will be put in a timeout or deleted and blocked as deemed necessary. If you have questions, please put them in all caps and only enter them once per show. I'm joined on air with our North Carolina ombudsman, Cynthia Pinkston, who assists us with keeping order during the podcast. And this morning, we are going to begin without Justice Anna Maria, who is coming soon, but she is currently getting her coffee. She's had a lot going on. So we're just going to give her a little bit more time. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead. Good morning, Cynthia.
Good morning.
We're going to go ahead and start with what is already set up here in the chat. Elizabeth, your question was answered last week, so please watch episode 6. Was it 6 or 7 last week?
6.
6.
7.
What?
Today's 8.
Oh, today's episode 8. Elizabeth Fark, please go watch episode 7. Your question was answered there. Juan, that's called the Global Family Group. Your question is linked. If you go into the show notes, friends, then there is a link there. It's called the United States of America. It's a link tree. When you open that link tree, it actually has links to all the things that we talk about. So go there. That's where your link is. Otherwise, we're not putting links in right here. Okay. Karen, we are going to talk about all that. So you'll find out. We're not asking Anna for this every single week, okay? She is working on it. You will get it as soon as it's ready. All right. I see that Anna's trying to come in, but we're going to go ahead and finish going through the rest of these questions. I don't know why the show was set up at noon, y'all. Sorry about that. It always starts at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because that's 9 a.m. for Anna, okay? And then today, the rest of the show, we actually have a lot that we are working on trying to go over with Anna today. Cynthia and I have a long list of things that people have sent us over time since we started. And before we get too far behind, we're going to actually go over that with her in a rapid fire true or false today, which I don't know, Cynthia, I think it might take up the whole show. What do you think? It might, but you know what we know is you guys are going to get some powerful answers today, big answers. So get ready, okay? And once the IRS is notified. Julia, Cynthia, she uses Medicare.
There's Medicare and Medicaid. Medicare comes with your Social Security. You paid for that. It's
That
yours.
means that if it's owed, it's owed. If you paid into it, you get it. So that's all. That has nothing to do with taxes. Watch the last episode or the last 2 episodes to learn about that. Art of Yoga with Julia. Watch the last 2 episodes. What does this question even mean, Cynthia? Do you get it? Do you understand this question?
Accepting the credits for those who have not used dollars.
I don't understand this question.
I don't understand the question. TASA, the American State National Platform, accepting credits.
Thomas, you have to do more research. You're not asking us a question we can answer. Do more research, please. All right. We love you guys. Now stop putting questions here because today the show is going to be a little bit different. We have a plethora of questions for Anna. We're going to be ironing all of that out with her. I saw that she was coming in and then it looked like she just fell out. She's having internet issues, friends. She's in the middle of a snowstorm, 5 foot of snow. They are trying to log in. It's a little bit technical difficulties, but they're coming online. Don't even worry. All right. We have answers from Anna for a lot of the questions that either let me in the studio or I am going. Oh, I see what happened. Sorry, friends. There was a technical difficulty for Anna trying to get in. She's working on it, y'all. Okay, and everybody out there, I'm putting a link. I'm putting Anna's Cash App here in the show notes. Here we go. There she is.
Oh, look at that. She's got a hat on, y'all.
Hey, Anna, let me see your hat.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Where's that cup of coffee?
You got your coffee?
Yep. The Belcher team. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I can turn up this control a little bit here. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we're all good to go. Anna,
right.
We started a couple minutes before you. We were getting everybody ready. We already took care of the questions that were in the chat. And as we've announced already, we're not going to be pulling questions from the chat today unless we finish what we're doing first, because Cynthia and I have something set up with a bunch of questions from people who have been asking us, in all the podcasts that we've recorded so far, they either are asking it after the show, or we've been directly receiving a lot of their questions. So today we're going to take some time and go through that. Most of the things that they were asking, we have positioned them in such a way, Anna, that you can answer them in a true or false rapid fire fashion. Okay. So Cynthia's going to start with some, and then I'm going to come in after her. Okay. Ready, Cynthia?
I'm ready. These are questions from assembly meetings, different people. When we come home to the land and soil, and do we file to get grants from the de facto in order to get money to run our assembly or to manage our state?
True or false?
No, you don't do that. No.
That's a definite no. Should we study Dun and Bradstreet, the numbers and the information and the de facto information for our usage?
It's good to have in your back pocket. I don't know how much time or effort you'd want to put into it.
Okay.
So false, friends.
If 4 pillars are not up and operational, do we have control of our government?
That we call our assembly, that we on our land jurisdiction, don't we call it the assembly?
Well, yes and no. You're in general assembly, but you're not complete. Okay, so that's not a true false. That's a progress, a process.
I'm going to get to that next question. How many jurors are required to operate our courts fully?
Well, generally speaking, it's agreed to be 26.
Okay. If we have a current legal problem, I can't resolve it before the courts are stood up and operational.
You can't use our courts, but you can use their courts if you know how.
So that leads to another question. If we have no sovereign remedy unless or until all four pillars are up and our General Assembly is mature or operational, do we have any sovereign remedy without that?
The General Assembly is a sovereign body. Having this assembly up and actually doing all its functions is the issue.
All right, that leads to the next one. Until our four pillars are up, can we practice our full sovereignty?
Well, you don't have the functionality to exercise it without your courts, without your militia. No, you don't have your full sovereignty until you're fully functional.
That's a big one. That's a big one, friends.
That goes to you, Nate.
Okay. Anna, this is a part of my journey that I'm not sure that you know about. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what happened. You know, when I found you, when I found your work, then, you know, I was like everybody else. I had my own problems or my own situation that I wanted to, you know, take better control of. And so I was interested in learning how to make sure to set the business up so that it would be operating properly. And that's because I've always been running, you know, a parallel counter economic system to the centralized food system. And I just wanted to be able to put it on a better footing. And I knew that I needed to take it out of the de facto, which I had it in the de facto set up as a nonprofit. And I knew I needed to close that and open it up, you know, as a private business and just stop participating altogether so I could exit the incorporated system so that I could be incorporated. So I was trying to find that out. And so I went to our coordinator and I asked him how I would learn how to do that. And he said, I'm working on our four pillars over here. And so I'm not going to help you with that right now because on North Carolina, our coordinator only works on the four pillars and doesn't let us talk to him about anything else until the four pillars are up. And so if we want to know something else, he says, well, you're free, you know, to do whatever you want. And you're self-governing, so go find out if you want to. You might want to go sit in. There's a Thursday night meeting that it's an international call, and you might find something out there. So I went to that Thursday night international call, which I normally don't go to those calls, Anna, because I'm just busy with the food church, and I don't have time to really do that. So I went into this meeting. I went 3 to 5 times. And when I went, I never really understood what was going on. And I decided, well, either I'm too stupid to understand what's going on and maybe I won't be able to do this, or I need more information. I need to understand it a little bit better. And that, Anna, was the first time that I tried to call you. And I don't know if you remember that or not, but I tried to call you one time at that point because I thought, I can't get answers here because whenever I go to this meeting, they're like studying D&B numbers and they're talking about trying to make friends with everybody who's on this dry dock boat. And I didn't understand why I would be talking to the de facto if I'm trying to get out of the de facto and exit them. So then I decided I would call Anna. And so I did. And when I had this conversation with you, you didn't know me from Adam, but every time that I would say, hey, what about this? And what about this? You were like, yeah, that's true. This is true. And it was really amazing for me because I was like, well, when I talk to Anna, she's alive. She's a real woman, a living woman. She answers the phone and she answered all my questions. And basically she told me that I was correct in what I was thinking. And when I spoke with Anna, it was like going downstream. It was like ease and flow. It was building confidence in me because she knew what she was talking about. And anything I wasn't quite sure about, she told me why I was able to walk in that. And basically, what you told me was that I had the power that I had because I understood jurisdiction. That was actually why I was able to leverage my Bill of Rights, because I knew that when I spoke to the water people, the dry dock guys, the policy enforcers, when they came, the regulators would come to me, I would tell them, I don't really understand what you're saying. I'll need that in writing. So, all I know is that you're outside of your jurisdiction, but if you give that to me in writing, I'll take a look at it. To which they never presented me with anything in writing and then so I was free to operate however I wanted to. They even told me, Anna, hey, you're behaving like a self-proclaimed governing body. And I thought that's funny because I think we're supposed to be self-governing. So I didn't say anything to them, but I just was like, oh, okay, thank you so much. Just put it in and come back. And they never did, right? So
yeah, well, Niti, think about what you just said. That's just too wonderful. You're acting like a self-proclaimed governing body. Well, you know what? We stand under the Declaration of Independence, and that was, last time I checked, a self-declaration and a self-declared governing body. Hello, America. Let's get our acts together.
How many Americans know this, Anna? How many Americans know? You know what, Anna? Nobody in our assembly who was teaching or leading any of those meetings that I was instructed to go to told me that or could tell me that. And so I stopped talking to them. You know what I did instead? I had already done my YouTube series about the war against meat. I did a series about the law of nature. And then I did Dissolving Illusions. And I invited you to come on that last day to close out the series. And I really just thought that was going to be all. And look, it turned into this brilliant podcast thing that we're doing, which I never, ever would have done on my own. I didn't have time to do. I have no sword in this fight. I have no reason to do this otherwise, except that I just believe in you, Anna. I believe in what you're teaching, and you gave me relief because you gave me the confidence to know that what I did was right, and you explained to me why. Because I can't ask the dry docked water people why, because they're looking at me like you're incompetent, you don't understand land jurisdiction, obviously, and so you're incompetent. And so if what I learned is that I have to walk in my knowing, and you gave me the confidence to do that. And so, Anna, how can anybody in our assembly move forward if they're not going to listen to you, to what you're saying? And there's nobody, by the way, leading us beneath you that actually knows those things. Nobody. It is the reason why I reached out to you, and I just wanted you to know that. And I wanted all the people to hear why I reached out to you in the first place and what you said. So that was my contribution for that. But I do have other questions.
Well,
so
I think, Niti, what you're saying is that they're desperately trying to hand over their authority to somebody else.
Yes.
They're trying to get the de facto to tell them what to do, or they're trying to use the de facto's rules and regulations and codes as a guidance. And that's like using a map of Afghanistan to find your way around Ohio. It's not a sane way to go, especially when you know that over 90% of all those codes and regulations don't apply to you, no matter, and the other 8% only apply to you if you do specific things. So
thank you. Thank you for clarifying that, because people need to hear it. They need to hear it from you. And what the people that are watching this don't know, Anna, is that you have written this in multiple articles ad nauseum. They're all posted on the Anna Von Wright site. And friends, if you're watching this YouTube right now, I want you to go to our show notes. There is a United States of America link tree And if you click on that, then it will have links, including Anna's website, that you can click on, and there will be ad nauseum articles explaining in detail where Anna is giving you instruction. That those articles are the blueprint for anybody out there who does not understand what to do. And Anna, please, you just wrote an article about this because I actually asked you about it, but these people on this YouTube, they don't read your articles because they don't know that. And I think that there's a lot of people out there, even within our assembly, who don't read your articles. I actually think that it is because they are not really used to reading things and, understanding and actually comprehending them. So I want us to go over this one more time. You told me the reason why what you've done for us is leave the door cracked, so that people can find their way back into their sovereign power. And it is the reason, because YouTube friends out there, they think that there's hundreds of people that are teaching this sovereignty information. Hundreds. What's different about Anna? I'll tell you what's different about Anna. Anna has done something very big. She's done something very important. And she's done it because her husband is the hereditary, and he is the hereditary head of state for America. We talked about this on the very first episode, but Anna, please explain to them one more time what you did that actually makes what you're doing different, because you made it very clear to us that until we have financial sovereignty, we don't really have freedom, do we?
No, you don't. You have to have financial sovereignty. You have to have your own money, and you have to be able to conduct your own business, or you're dependent on somebody else. And that, by definition, means you're not sovereign. So in order for us to operate, we have to have our ducks in order. We have to have our own bank. We have to have an address where we can sue and be sued. We have to have a bond in place to conduct international business. There are all sorts of different aspects of this that one way or another had been eroded away from us, so that we were too blocked, basically by the British government, from doing what we needed to do. And so over time, people lost track of all the different aspects of running an international government. And so we went back through the entire process and reinstituted an international government for this country that's viable on its own. And that means that you're viable as individual people living in this country, that you now have your own access to your own money, you have your own bank, you have your own bond, you have your own seals, you have your own standing among the other nations of the world. And all you really have to do is come back home and populate your own country, and suddenly everything changes. One of the interesting things I found out this week, they consider us foreign sovereigns.
Wow.
And as I've told everyone, the sovereign citizen is an oxymoron. You can't be a sovereign and a citizen at the same time, okay? So they're mutually exclusive terms. But a foreign sovereign, that's a whole different bailiwick. And the sense in that we are foreign from them is that they are on their side of the fence and we're on ours, okay? We are foreign with respect to them, and they are foreign with respect to us. So we are foreign sovereigns in their lexicon because we're foreign with respect to them. Okay? So our title in their system is foreign sovereign. We are a foreign sovereign. And they have instruction now that they're not to impede our progress or mess with us, which is good. Now, the way that you do this is you present a passport card instead of a driver's license or any of these other things. And you just basically say, look, I'm traveling here. I'm foreign with respect to you. And that's okay. You know, I have my own country. I have my own laws. I have my own nation. I'm a peaceable person. I'm not here to wage war or do anything improper. And they let us go because they have to. We're foreign with respect to them. We're not in their jurisdiction. We're occupying our own country and doing our own thing.
Everyone out there should take that, what she just said, press rewind and listen again, because I'm not going to make her say it again. Press rewind and listen to it again and again and again and again until you understand it. So basically what you're saying to us also, Anna, is that when you say come home and populate your country, you mean that they should come home by correcting their status and joining their state assembly.
Right. I mean, there's no other way.
Did y'all listen? Did you hear what we're saying? Okay. And the only way to do that is to go to the top of the website, friends, which that link is in the link tree in the show notes. It is not on somebody else's website. It is not on a David Straight site. It is not on all these people that I don't know all their 100 names. But whoever all these people are that are saying, let us help you with your sovereign, whatever they're saying, because there's a bunch of people out there that do this, okay? If they're telling you that, that is not why you can't get back to the land and populate your nation in that way. Because Anna has actually already gone and done all the, she's taken their sovereignty and established it in complete physical reality. I'm reading Anna's words. In complete physical reality. She established the claims to the air, land, and sea years ago, and the soil claims derived from the land claims. I'm just trying to keep you from having to waste your voice again, Anna. Okay. She has already taken the claims on your behalf, and she has already established that on your behalf. Okay, I hope everyone listened to what we just said. All right, Anna. Next, true or false. This is going to be redundant. It's the reason I'm asking you to just do true or false, because you've already said this like 10 million times, okay? So, Anna, we can't issue our Z tags, our vehicle registrations, or our state IDs until all our 4 pillars are fully stood up. True or false?
False.
We can't issue our own passports until our 4 pillars are stood up and our assembly, which is what we call our American government, is mature. True or false?
False, but states wouldn't be issuing passports anyway. Okay. That's a function of the Federation.
Okay, all you people who are coordinating and running things out there, you do not need to waste time doing any of these things. We can't mint our own coin until our 4 pillars are stood up and our assembly is mature. True or false?
Again, that's a federation function. It's not a state function.
Hello, assembly coordinators, assembly people. She just said false. Stop doing things that you don't have the reason to do right now. Should we be listening to or following instructions from others teaching sovereign way or social medias such as, but not limited to, Telegram, Facebook, YouTube, Mattermost, and document servers? Anna?
I wouldn't.
Okay. She said false, friends. Do not listen to Mattermost, doc servers, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, or whatever. I don't know if I didn't name it. I don't know all the Twitters and the ducks and the whatever, all the clucks that people.
It just gets confusing, you know. Different people are doing different things from different knowledge bases, and really the meat and potatoes is right here, is in, you know, changing your political status and knowing who you are.
Right. So you should be able to articulate who you are, and you should know that until your state has its 4 pillars standing up, you literally have nothing to do except stand up the 4 pillars, friends. Just focus, friends, because that is literally all. That's all our North Carolina guy, our coordinator, Dominic, will not literally let us have a conversation with him about anything. We have friends who are in jail who did things that they shouldn't do because they just went off the rails and just, you know, went. But look, you're free, self-governing people, to do whatever you want to do. And when you do those things and you run off the rails and fall in a ditch, Anna, Are we bailing them out? True or false? Are we bailing them out?
Well, I try to bail everybody out, right? I'm trying to get everybody out of the mire here and back on track so that we are functioning. But no, people can go off the rails anytime, any way they want. They often do. We've had multiple experiments where, people have got started down the right path and then they veer off and go over a cliff. And, what can we do about that? We've tried our best to warn them. We've tried our best to teach them. And there's a limit. Look at the Colorado 9. I was there telling them, don't do that. That doesn't make any sense. That's a foreign court. Don't even darken their doorstep,
Right. Anna, what do you have to say to this?
I don't think she means to. I don't. Shaming is not part of our that's not part of our operation here. That's a leftist type thing.
Yeah. We're not canceling friends here, Julie. We're not trying to hate on anybody. We love you so much. We don't care what you think. We love you so much. We don't care what you think. It is because we are pointing these things out to everyone because it's the truth, and the truth is belligerent, isn't it, Anna?
Well, it has to be because there's so much falsehood. I mean, we're in a
lies everywhere. There are so many lies in this world right now, and it is 100% immoral. Lies align with immorality, and truth aligns with morality. Anna is doing a great work. She's working very hard to share the truth with everyone. And then there's everybody who we've all been brainwashed for so long into this mindset on purpose through our preschool education, through our post preschool education, through the if you have university degrees, then you are 100% programmed by the de facto to be offended by everything that we're saying. They think this flag, Anna, is, offensive. They don't understand this is a peace flag, a loving flag.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yes, that's right. And then this person's saying, what does left and right have to do with it? We're clarifying, Regina, for the people who are confused, because there's so many people who are so confused that they come back home, and then all they do is try to follow or seek someone to be the boss of them.
Well, think about this, Regina. You're a baby, and your parents have complete control of your life. Okay, everybody's there. Your entire family's telling you what to do, what to think, when to sit down, when to go potty, when to eat, everything. Okay? Then you go to school, and your teacher takes over part of that role, and your teacher's telling you what to do, what to think, what to study, what books to read, blah, 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 blah. Then you go to college and you have professors telling you the same sorts of things. And you go into the service, the military service, and you have your drill sergeant and your commanding officers telling you all the same things, what to do, what to say, constantly. And then you go to work. Okay, and then you have your boss telling you what to do, what to say, where to go, where to be at what time, blah, 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 blah. Your entire life is regimented in this way. So, all of a sudden you walk out the door one day and you say, I'm in charge of my own life. What do I do? How do I do this? There's nobody here to tell me what to do. And this is really disconcerting. I mean, people, they come out of, I call it the revolving door. They come out into the sunlight. They are now, it's a very popular word for some reason, sovereign. I'm not attracted to it at all. But, suddenly they realize I'm free. I can do what I want to do. There's nobody telling me what to do. And they're disoriented. They're just completely disoriented. They're like baby ducks looking for mama duck.
When you let those chicks out, when you let them out of the coop and put them out on green grass, they're terrified.
Right.
They're outside because they were protected for so long, as we all have been. All of you people out there who find what my tone is offensive, you find it offensive because you've never heard real leadership from anyone ever. No one is actually leading you into your full power and pouring love over you. You've never had anybody tell you that they love you so much.
Well, and that's the difference. I've tried to explain it to people that our leadership has a different goal. Their leadership on their side of the fence is all set up to funnel power to a leader. They're all backing this leader up and putting this leader up there on top. They've got their Joe Biden. Okay. Our system is the opposite. Our leader is not drawing power to him or herself. Our leadership is empowering you. Our goal is to empower each and every one of you so that we're all standing strong, so that we all have a shared vision of this country and of our rights and freedoms. Okay? So our leadership has the exact opposite goal. They're not trying to empower themselves, they're trying to empower you. See the difference?
Freedom is very heavy. It's heavy, Anna. Like when I'm responsible for myself 100%, then it's a heavy burden.
Yes, it is. And people flee from it. They don't want freedom. They don't want responsibility. They're not here to take on that role. They want a parent. They want a drill sergeant. And there are lots of people like that. On one hand, they want freedom. Oh, yeah. But then when it comes attached to a responsibility, then they flee from it.
They've been made to believe, Anna, that if they are so free, then there won't be any structure. What they don't understand is that discipline equals freedom, but discipline is shaped with order. Nature operates in an order. Let's just use this for an example. If everybody was equally wealthy, or if every single thing was free, everyone currently in the de facto system believes that no one would do anything and no one would work. Well, let me explain how this goes, friends. When everything is equal, when all things are equal, then what happens is that everyone has to respect each other. If they don't, they're going to get killed. Like, you have to operate in respect and in honor if you want freedom and if you want to operate correctly. There is going to be a natural discipline that falls upon you. That's how nature is. You don't want to hear this, but the truth is that nature is harsh. Nature says no. If you don't mature and operate in your full power capably to be able to comprehend and understand, actually how it is that you have to love and respect other people, you are going to die. Because if you just observe nature, you will see that is what happens. When you see, two beasts come together, there is a standoff where they are learning how to respect each other and they're trying to find their footing. And when they figure that out, then somebody's either going to win or lose, or they're going to both, yield and allow each other to just live and let live. Isn't that how it works, Anna?
Well, yeah, more or less. And in this case, we've got different jurisdictions butt up against each other in exactly that way. I've explained it in terms of a 2-lane road. We've got our lane, they've got their lane. And, as long as nobody gets in the wrong lane, everything goes along perfectly well. But, just observing that and living with that is our responsibility. We can't be in their courts and they can't be in our courts. And we really need to get these things straightened out and functioning so that we are not being in the middle, in the median strip. Okay?
Yep. I'm putting up people's messages that they're posting that are positive, because you know what? I'm over all the negative ninnies and the crybabies. So you guys, we're not operating like the nanny state. We're
No.
operating in truth, and truth requires you to take responsibility for yourself.
Well, I try to be kind because I love people. And if I didn't love people, I wouldn't be doing this. So, I'm naturally an impatient person. My father criticized me for being impatient when I was young, and I tried to cultivate the virtue of patience. It stood me in good stead because there are a lot of good people out there that need to hear this message multiple times. It doesn't take the first time. No matter how smart you are, no matter how independent-minded you are, there are things about this message that you have to wrap your head around, and that takes time.
That's right. So just like the de facto is on repeat using their media, be afraid, you are terrible, you or whatever, you're not going to hear all that here. So yes, I'm going to push you into your power, and it's going to be messy.
Well, that's funny you say that, because actually Americans do need to be pushed into their power. We've been so indoctrinated and we've been so regimented for so long that, we really do have to kind of get behind those baby ducks and go, okay, and keep shoving them into their own power, keep shoving them into their own responsibility, because that's how they grow up and become the forceful and independent and free people that they're meant to be.
Look, that mama bird just throws that baby bird right on out the nest.
Well, and that's what the leadership of our assemblies need to be doing with their people. They need to be, instead of garnering all the attention and focusing everybody's attention on them as the leader, they need to be broadcasting that back out to the people and landing it on their doorstep so that the people start taking responsibility.
That's where we as a team come in. If it's a long ranger, it's not going anywhere. One person can't do it. We have to have teamwork. We have to have communication and understanding to work together and to delegate out that power and that authority to everybody who can work. This is not, I came to the land and soil, I'll retire now. And we all retired. I retired, you retired. Now we're back at it, harder than what we were before. So it's all of us have to work.
Right. It's your house. You have to paint it. It's your lawn. You have to mow it. I mean, it's a responsibility on that level of, this is our country. We have to run it. Our forefathers developed all the means and mechanisms to do so. So, grab an oar.
Grab an oar. I love it. Okay. Also, true or false, Anna, are we supposed to be having private meetings, or are we supposed to be sharing all these things? I mean, all the things that I've ever been on in the Federation has been recorded. And so that means that other people should be free to listen to them. And are we going back to the de facto way? This is the problem. A lot of folks just can't get through, there's still this thing where, everything's compartmentalized. That's what got us into this mess in the first place, friends.
Yes, it did, because one hand didn't know what the other was doing. I have one brilliant member of our bank team who likes to operate as a lone wolf and not keep the other members of the team advised of what he's doing or what difficulties he's encountering. And basically, this is a very, very hard point with our banking team, because we're all intelligent. We all bring forward our own creativity, our own knowledges, skills, backgrounds, right? And you have to work as a team, and you have to keep the other people advised. And if you're running into a problem, then you need to bring it forward so that we can creatively find solutions to those problems. sitting here and just having our little space and be working on our one little problem and, encountering all of our different thumps and bumps on the road doesn't help. I mean, maybe we solve the problem, maybe we don't. But when you bring it forward and the whole group gets a chance to grapple with it, it's amazing how people will come from different directions and contribute different parts and pieces to make it work. You're muted.
How many states need to be stood up for us to operate fully?
It's not a matter of how many states. It's a matter of your state. This is a mindset from the democracy. And we're not a numbers game. We're not here, having to get, 51% of whatever. That's not it. All of the states are now in General Assembly. Okay? That's all they need to reach in order to be operable. Now, if they want to be fully operable, fully seated, they need to stand up the rest of their organization so that they're fully functional. And, it's like, yeah, they've got an arm up, okay? But now they put up the rest of them. Now they've got 2 arms and 2 legs once they have their 4 pillars, right? So people need to start thinking of this in terms of, okay, the General Assembly is up in all 50 states. And we don't need to do anything more than that in order to be recognized and to have the ability to do roll call votes and other things that are of importance. So you're already partially functional. You've already got the biggest thing done because you have assembled your General Assembly. From here on in, it's a matter of filling out the functionality of the assemblies by having your courts, your militia, and your international business assembly organized.
I think that there is this misunderstanding that we have to have a X amount of power for it to be recognized. You know what it is, Anna, is they're not realizing that you've said this before. You said, hey, if you want to be Catholic and, do you need to get that?
I do. Just let me mute for a moment.
Sure. All right. We're going to let Anna be muted for a minute and we will catch up. Cynthia. Oh, you're muted, Cynthia.
We've got a tremendous amount of information that we've taken in. By the time you read her articles, you read the books, you've listened to her Monday night, we've got the podcast. We're trying to reinforce and reinforce and reinforce and get the information to the people to stay out of the ditch. Concentrate on populating your assemblies, getting your 4 pillars up. Once that's done, then get your courts operational. So you've got them up. Now get them working so they understand how they work and how they can do. Because then we have the power to bring the outside to our court and we win because we have general jurisdiction. We stand above them. We have to be able to do that in order to get to the front of the line and be heard. Until then, we're foreign sovereign people.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting that she said, if you get pulled over, you show them your passport and say, hey, I'm a foreign in your jurisdiction. So you're outside of your jurisdiction with me and I'm outside of the jurisdiction because you consider me to be a foreigner. Here's my passport. And so you can just show them your passport card. The other thing that Anna said last week or week before that was that it doesn't matter about how many stars you have or anything about your passport. It's about how you sign the passport. If you didn't catch that, you need to go back and listen to the past couple of episodes where she has gone through the passport at length. She's gone through at length, how to set up a business or whatever. Here she comes.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's always a matter of different things coming up and hitting my plate. You know how that is.
Thank you so much for operating and first of all, making time for us. Friends, Anna does this while she's also running all of this and pushing this giant wheel forward on our behalf. So thank you, Anna, for doing that with us. Thank you so much.
Well, and you're very welcome. And I wish I did, I had the opportunity to do more. And thank you, North Carolina, for making this possible. And so having the background, doing everything and all the footwork to make it possible.
Well, we love you. We love you. Let's see what this Jacob's saying. Jacob's ladder. Okay. I'm brand new, brand spanking new. Can I get a job? I don't know how to proceed for the important job of feeding myself once on land and soil, and apologize if this has been covered. I don't even know what that means. Do you know what that means, Anna?
Well, I think that he's referring to the fact that so many employers require you to go through all this process of, filling out IRS forms and doing all this stuff, using the social security number and blah, 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 blah. Well, none of that matters once you claim ownership of all those things.
Right. Also, Anna, can you just confirm this information that, hey, if you put your social, when you write your social on the forms, Jacob, put an asterisk before and after, and then you're viewed as a creditor, not a debtor. Does that matter, Anna, or does it not matter?
Well, there are actually two accounts. There's a debt side to the ledger and there's a credit side to the ledger. And they're trying to always get you to accept the debt side of the ledger, right? They want you to be the debtor. What you can do is use what's called the auto tris, which is the social security number without the dashes in between. And, if they've got dashes, just cross out the dashes.
Oh, is this like, or so you don't do the asterisk, you just mark out the dashes?
Well, I don't know what they may have other ways of doing it, but the way to establish that you're using the credit side of the account is to take out the dashes.
All right, friends, you heard it from Anna.
That's called your auto tris.
Auto tris.
Side.
You should know these things. That's very important. Just like knowing that you want to write in care of your address and not just your name and then your address, right?
Right. When it's in care of, you're making it clear that this is being transferred through to you via another system.
But Anna, we have another question. So you just put out a thing on the trustee notices. North Carolina and Alabama do not have trustee notices. We have bankruptcy. Did that article, that notice you put out, cover us? Or is there something that we need to do or something in addition to, because there are only two states that don't have trustees, and that's North Carolina and Alabama?
Actually, it covers everybody. When it comes at the federation level, it covers everybody. So if there's a notice, such as the one we issued yesterday, it's covering everyone and throughout the country so that you're all protected. I mean, if you want to think about it, the federation is your flak jacket in international jurisdiction.
Okay, but people, again, if you're watching this on YouTube and you are not already back on the land and soil, then go to the show notes, go to the TASA website on the link tree. There's a United States of America link tree, and go to the TASA website, click on your state, and find your coordinator so that you can join your assembly. So you can actually hear from the United States of America how to do this properly. All right. So I have another question from, this is from North Carolina also. It says that, where are we in the process of settling the SIA phase 1 process? North Carolina's set off was done by SIA fiduciary Alan Stein.
Right. Well, and Alan did a good job. The set off is owed the creditor is claiming bankruptcy. We know that the principals remain responsible for the bankrupt. So the money for that needs to be passed through from principal to principal. It needs to be accounted for. Because bankruptcy, you see, is not just, people tend to think of bankruptcy as a home free card. They don't understand that somebody has to pay for that. It gets distributed, the cost of the bankruptcy gets distributed to the public. And the way that it gets distributed to the public is that you're considered a public trust. So when you go bankrupt, you're actually shoving your debts off onto your neighbors. But at the end of the day, someone has to be responsible for that.
Sounds like the corporatocracy again. Constantly not taking any responsibility. You have a question, Cynthia?
Yep, I got another one. We got a gal whose mama died. She's all papered up, got our notices, everything done. And when her mother died, there was taxes withheld from an IRA distribution to her. She mentioned part of it they took, part of it she forgot to mention. Does she have to go and undo that? Does she just let it ride until there's a problem? I know we have a right to correct all documents, but once it's finished and it's been through probate, do you go back and dig in that or leave it alone?
There should never be a probate. There's no authorization for a probate court to exist in this country.
Right, but her mother was not American State National.
Yeah, but even so, there's no provision for any probate court. I mean, if you read the documents, there's no probate court in this country. It was never provided for. And so when they come into a probate court and they're probating somebody's estate, they're actually dealing with the foreign corporation that was impersonating you. They're not dealing with you or your estate. And so the problem here is that when they haul you or your relative into a probate court, all you have to do is stand there and ask them, where's the authority for the existence of a probate court in this country? And there is none. And really, it's magical. They just fold up and go away.
So what's done, and she can't undo it, but just she needs to ask them where their authority is if they ever come back to her.
Right. If the probate court rears its ugly head in any way, shape, or form, you just ask them, where's your authority to establish or operate a probate court in this country? And they have no answer for that because there is no authority for it.
Okay, I have another question, Anna. People are saying that you are hinting that something big is coming. Is that a financial collapse? Is that why you speak of the vault? And just for everybody's information, if you go to the show notes in our link tree, there is a link for you to learn about the vault. So you can just do that instead of wondering all about it. You can actually go there, click it, it'll come up. Go to the show notes at the link tree. But Anna?
Well, I just released an article called The Subject is Buying Power. And that's what the vault is about. It's about preserving your buying power. It's about preserving the buying power of your nest egg, your savings. The money that you set aside for a rainy day is in danger of being greatly devalued. And the problem is that the fiat note, the Federal Reserve note, the value of that has been devalued many, 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 many times since it was first issued, right? And so you've lost all but 1/180th of the value of your 1934 silver dollar.
So if they weren't going to put their money in the vault and they were just going to buy gold to hold because they feel like they might need it, emergently, then is that also a good idea or not a good idea?
Well, the vault is not a savings or checking account or any kind of a typical account. The vault is like you're putting it in a safe deposit box. Okay. The vault is, if you have a real, urgent need for your money, your wife got sick, whatever. If you have an emergency need to get your money out, you can get your money out of the vault on an emergency basis, but you can't just write checks on it. You can't just, go down to the local kiosk and take it out. It's like a vault, it is what it says it is. And the reason that you put your money, your savings type money that you can afford to leave sitting somewhere long term, is so that when this conversion comes, when the reset or whatever you want to call it happens, which is going to happen whether we want to or not, then your money will maintain its parity, its buying power. You'll be exchanged on a one-to-one basis with the new American Federation dollar, which is gold backed, and you'll retain your ability to buy stuff at the same level that you are now. But otherwise, you're going to lose all but a tiny, tiny fraction of the value of that note.
And so buying gold is not equal?
No, the buying power will not be equal. It will be exceedingly reduced on the part of the Federal Reserve note. See, I suggest people read the article. It's called, the subject is buying power, and it was just released this past week, and it explains how the vault works and why it is there. And we're basically, we're enforcing a guarantee that was made back in 1934 that established and guaranteed parity between the Federal Reserve note and the U.S. silver dollar. So we are guaranteed, we are to be held harmless, but we have to be American, and we have to enforce it.
When she says you have to be American, friends, you have to come back home to the land and soil through the assembly, through the link in the show notes, not through all the rando 100 million people out there that are randomly saying that they can help you or charge you money to save you or whatever. Anna is saving you for free. You just need to go on that path. So for the YouTube people out there, you need to go to the link in the show notes, and then you need to go to the TASA link, the American State Assembly link, and then find your state. And so people are saying, okay, wait a minute. Let me see. It says, here's a question, Anna. Why is the deposit into the vault going through Wells Fargo or Bank of America?
Because you have to have a way of getting from one system to the other.
Okay.
And unfortunately, their system does not interface with our system very well. Under international law, they have to interface, but banks are private institutions. Commercial banks are private institutions. So they're not forced to do business with you if they don't want to.
Anna, have you heard about the Operation All Board that is believed to be coming?
Well, I hear all sorts of things all the time. And what I mainly see are territorials working different programs for territorials.
That's de facto. We can just not worry about it, right? That's de facto.
That's British territorial stuff where, federal citizens, the U.S. citizens, are swirling around trying to find ways to save themselves. And so, they put out all these different programs and things that are for federal citizens. And that's not going to work for us.
Right. If you don't bank with Bank of America or whatever I said before, can you still participate in the vault thing?
Right. The vault's a trust. I mean, you put your money in the trust, and the trust then operates the other aspects of it.
Jasmine, your question is answered when you go to the link. If you go to the show notes, Jasmine, and you click on the link that tells you how the vault operates, which is in the link, go open it, please. And then you'll be able to read all the things that you need to know. Okay.
Yeah, man, really, the idea of the vault is just getting you parity. It's just getting something for you that you should just naturally have. But because we've all been converted into federal citizens or presumed to be federal citizens, we're not getting the benefit of our guarantees unless we actively go out there and pursue it and take steps to ensure that we get our guarantees.
I don't think California has their own stuff set up yet, do they, Anna? See this guy's question, Robert. He's saying, are we currently able to buy auto or land through via Z regulation? Are they set up to do that?
Well, we're set up to do our own banking now. So I would just wait because, it's going to be maybe 6 weeks or something like that. I mean,
great.
People need to step back and look at this in a big picture.
6 weeks, Rosalie.
Okay. Look at it in a big picture. We're facing a population collapse. We were already facing a population collapse before the COVID-19 fiasco. And now with all these excess deaths, guess what? The population collapse is just happening that much faster. Well, what happens in a population collapse? The economy collapses too, because the demand for goods and services and houses and money and everything else collapses, right? So when you break the population growth, you then automatically create an economic collapse. And so what's going on now is inexorable. We cannot stop it. You hear this, it can't be stopped. Well, it can't be stopped because all these people are dying and being sterilized. And we already were losing a large percentage of our population as the baby boomers aged. Okay, and then as the baby boomers die, that clump of population, right, they're dying. And then the group that followed us was a much smaller population. The birth rate tanked after the baby boomers. So when the baby boomers die, you're going to see this kind of collapse anyhow. And these asses who have been in charge have only exacerbated that problem.
Yep. More reasons to be paying attention to this de facto. Stop going to the de facto. Stop talking to the de facto. Stop dealing with the de facto. Build your 4 pillars and stop talking to them and stop dealing with them. I think Anna's exhausted of doing this space. She says it all the time. She has written articles ad nauseum. Please go to the link and read all of her 10 million articles. There's like so many of them. This is an interesting question. Julie wants to know what will happen to Hawaii if it is not stood up. Which state will it be annexed to?
I don't know what will happen to Hawaii because actually Hawaii has a very different history. Hawaii is in a bad space because it's a small kingdom type island out there in the middle of the Pacific. And if it doesn't ally with a major power, it's ripe for the taking. So, they allied with the United States in order to get that kind of protection. And if the United States isn't there, then China is going to be there, or Japan is going to be there, or, the Hawaiians, if they want to retain their independence, need to seize upon the ability now. They're fully enrolled as a state of the Union now. So they're free of the territorial demands the same way the rest of us are, if the Hawaiians do what we're doing and claim their state. You see, the state belongs to the people. So
people need to claim it, right? They need to get up.
Well, I certainly would.
Kelly wants to know, yes, I believe the answer is yes.
Yes.
Will we be able to? Yeah. Okay, great. All right. And do you have an update on what's happening with the military?
God knows. You've got two militaries. You've got the municipal military and you've got the territorial military. The territorial military is pretty much standing tough. The municipal military is much more the mercenary side of things. They're much more the ones that want war for profit. And they wind up getting involved in all sorts of sleazy things. So you've got this one company calling itself, it's a municipal corporation, calling itself the United States government. And they own and control all these different federal agencies, the DOJ, the FBI, all the bad actors are basically owned and controlled by this one municipal corporation calling itself the United States government. So if you want to look at the bad players and where all this is coming from, just look at the board of directors of this corporation, because they're the ones that are falling down on the job and actually misdirecting their employees.
All right. Well, Anna, you did it. Time is up. So we're going to see you guys next Tuesday. Join us here. It's always 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, but I do want to make a note that we're going to be changing things for the holidays. And Anna, next week is Thanksgiving. And I have a question.
Are you Turkey Day?
Turkey Day. But my question for you is, are you able to join us on Wednesday instead of Tuesday next week?
I don't see why not. Just make sure that I have that firmly in my brain so that I know that I have to be here on Wednesday, because my schedule gets crazy. And
all right, I'm going to try to remind you 100 times, because we have Turkey Tuesday here in our food church next week, and everybody comes and gets all their stuff for their fixins and whatever. But I can talk to you Wednesday morning and host on Wednesday morning instead.
Okay.
So, friends, we're going to see you next Wednesday, next week only. And then we'll get back on our Tuesday schedule. And then we're going to take a break, Anna, for Christmas, the week of the 19th and the week of the 26th. So we'll resume again after that on January 2nd. We're just letting everybody know the holiday schedule so that Anna can enjoy her family and the rest of us can too. So we love you guys so much. We'll see you next Wednesday.